you walk into 19A, you're going to see Mahu 1. Mahu 1 is a mixed air handling unit. And it's a pretty big unit. It controls all of the guest elevator lobbies. So a mixed air handling unit is, we can either run chilled water through it, heat through it, or we can go ahead and open the damper on the outside of the building and pull cool air in when we don't really need to have the air conditioning. Motor sits on top. The orange pipes over there are low pressure steam pipes. Move along and we'll turn to the left. On the left you'll see the green boxes with the levers on it. That's the disconnect. That's the big shutoffs for all the pumps and some of the other equipment up here. Coming down the green line above our head is the heating water return. So that's guest room heat coming back to the pump room. This is MP1. This is the main pump, or I should say the only pump that runs for the guest room radiant heat. This pump pushes all the hot water, and hot water only, up to the guest rooms and through the coils under the windows in the guest rooms. If this pump would happen to go down, we do have a secondary pump that really is on a chilled water line, but can be valved off and used as a heating pump if needed. So this is our auxiliary heating pump. It's got a 40 horse motor, and from my understanding this pump's only been operated a couple times since the hotel's been open. We have another pump that's identical, and it's a chilled water pump, but again, to my understanding, this pump very seldom gets ran, and this valve stays closed, and very seldom do we have to open that unless we would ever have to run that chilled water pump. We have enough pressure coming up into the building that we don't need the pump. As you can see, we're running at 11 to 12 pounds psi, and the pump's not even on. It should probably be exercised, at least twice a year, every 6 months or something, so we don't have a problem opening and closing those valves, or it's not a surprise if the pump doesn't run. So we'll have to get that on some sort of PM program. Again, this is MP1. If the pump goes down, we can turn that back pump on, the secondary pump, by just closing and opening a couple valves on the system and diverting that water over. Once the valves are operated and in the correct position, inside this cabinet is a switch, and all the person needs to do is toggle that switch to the other pump, and the pump MP1 will shut off and the auxiliary will turn on. This is our air station, and what the air station does here in the hotel is it controls all the pneumatic valving for the heating and cooling system. It's two big Quincy compressors. And then in the back corner you can see we have an air dryer, and the air dryer simply removes moisture so that we're not getting any water into the pneumatic valves. These Quincy compressors are real nice. They're top of the line, and according to the manufacturer you can run these 2,000 hours between oil changes, and the oil, as long as nothing's wrong with the compressor, will come out looking just as new as it did the day you put it in there. Get another air filter on the wall, and we have a filter that removes oil from the system about 10 feet down. This box here, George put together. George worked at IDS for years and years. He was actually here a little bit before the building was even completed. What this system here does is operates a valve on the bottom of the air storage tank, and every hour or so this valve will open up and it'll let the air blow out of the bottom of the tank for 2 to 3 seconds, and when that air blows out the bottom of the tank, it just removes any excess water or moisture that's in there. The gray box here on the wall is the relays that control the operation of the compressors. So the right compressor will run one time, and then the left compressor will run, and they'll alternate back and forth. Over here on the side we have two heat exchangers. This is the main heat for the building. So what this is we have a bundle pack that slips inside of those orange tubes way in the back. And in the bundle pack, the water runs through that bundle pack. And around that bundle pack is steam. And that steam is what warms that water. So as you can see, this one here, we're running about 22 pounds of pressure. And we alternate these back and forth on which heat exchanger we're using. They both don't run at the same time. We'll run one for a couple months and then swap it over to the other one. As you can see, this is the one that's not in service. It has 0 psi in it. It operates fine, it's just we're operating the opposite one at this point. So we'll head back down where we came from, but we'll turn to the right, or to the left, I'm sorry, and we'll duck under and take a look at the backside of Mahu number 1. All these blue pipes are chilled, all the green pipes are hot water. Here's the backside of Mahu number 1. I know it says Ahu number 1, but there is an M there, it's just been faded off. Got the power disconnect from Mahu number 1, motor sitting on top, and the orange steam lines in the back. The orange is low pressure steam, 10 to 12 pounds, and any red piping you see will be high pressure steam. Yellow lines are steam return lines, and we do have some yellowish lines that are condensate lines also. Got all your air pneumatic valves on top. It's ran by those Quincy air compressors. And those air pneumatics are all over. Every guest room has an air pneumatic valve. There's your steam return, one of the yellow lines. Now these are our ice machine supply and return lines. These ice machine supply and return lines are kind of nice. It's floors 5 through 19, and it sends chilled water up to the ice machines. I believe it's going in there at about 44 degrees. So it doesn't take a whole lot for those ice machines. They don't have to cool the water from 60 degrees or 70 degrees. It makes it a lot more efficient. This valve here is the valve that we use when we want to turn the air conditioning on in the building. So in order to turn the air conditioning on in the building, we'll come up here to 19A and we'll open this valve in the summertime. When that valve opens, water will flow down to this pneumatic actuator. This pneumatic actuator is what lets the water flow when there's a call for cooling. And we can control that down in the maintenance shop. We have an automation system down there. And then you just have to turn the pump on and you've got air conditioning. Down on the corner we got a couple BTU meters. We got some meters for efficiency on the cooling side. This is our delta T readings and delta rates. We'll head out, and on the end you'll see some stuff for cable TVs, some amplifiers and what have you. Got a power box here. It's only about half full, so we've got a bunch of blanks in there if we ever need more spaces. And it's good to know that there's a couple ice machines powered out of this box. So that's it. We'll take a trip up to 19B now.